What's up, everyone? Dave Bush here. Kansas Sports HQ, episode 16. We're going Friends University with our guy, Miles Hartman. He's been around for a little while, so he'll be joining us. We have Sheldon Howell, Sean Cutler in studio, and it's a Monday. It's a sad day for my Niners. We got whooped, and it's Sheldon's day.
I didn't watch your game at all.
Not good.
Oh, okay.
They went out. It was like 42-26, but I mean they had plenty of opportunities. It's just the Rams are just their offense is unbelievable right now. They're catching stuff that most people don't catch, and then they're running the ball well. So I mean, we're 1-1, first loss in the NFC West. No big deal, but you know our schedule's healthy enough there. But if we make it to the wild card and scratch out a win somehow, it'd be against you guys right now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So
we have no idea what we're doing. Or what version of the Packers will we get tonight?
Packers are a little lost. I don't know. Yeah, we got to find that identity.
I think you both need to wear your Malik jerseys.
Ooh, that's a great
tonight.
idea.
You know,
it's Malik Monday.
Hey, Malik Monday.
I mean, if they just put him in the game,
Whether he's in the game or not,
it's Malik
as long
Monday.
as we have his jersey on, that's a good start.
Regardless, I think this needs to be a new tradition. Malik Monday.
Did you know he also got a Malik jersey?
Oh yeah.
You just said that. He just said you should both wear. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
So a little recap of the weekend on high school sports. Derby beat Junction City.
Derby's
Northwest moved on. Mays moved on. Capon moved on.
Carroll lost.
Mulvane lost to the underdog Augusta.
Man. And Goddard lost too.
Goddard lost.
Goddard got beat down up there by
Oh man. So here we are moving into I believe we're past sectionals, so now it's regionals.
I think this is the Elite Eight.
Okay, the Elite Eight. So Derby Northwest will play, and I saw a post that cracked me up. It said maybe they should have ticket sales for this game because that bitch is going to be sold out.
Is that the matchup this week?
Yeah, Derby Northwest.
Okay, maybe we should go.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's at Northwest.
I have to make a call to some coaches.
See
if I can get into that one.
And then you also have Rose Hill winning the boys soccer state title.
Oh dang. Nice.
They I saw an article about how they were kind of like herding cats in the beginning of the season, then the postseason came up and all of a sudden boom, win, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty cool. And then you have the 6A. You have 6A moving through. Those teams up north are pretty freaking good, I guess. And Southeast was trying to make a push, but
is there any other? Who's Capon going to play? Capon plays Wellington.
I believe so.
Yeah, Wellington won. Because I was talking to Ryan because I saw them on their bracket, and I was like, when the hell did Capon become a 4A school? They've always been 5A.
Yeah, really.
They've been. I mean, they play Carroll. And Carroll's 5A.
I thought Andover was because they played Andover.
Andover should be 5A too, isn't it?
They spanked Andover. I think it was like 62-0.
I thought they were a 5A school too. I don't know. Things have changed a lot, but
you can still
play.
Yeah, you can play outside of your
like the playoffs.
Yeah.
Spanked? Okay.
Yeah, like that was their first time ever playing.
Capon played Andover Central, who played Eisenhower that night that we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Capon beat Andover Central 62-0.
Yeah.
Andover Central beat Eisenhower, who is a 5A, 50-something to 50-something to something. You know what I mean? And
wild game.
Just all they had to do, which mind you, they couldn't kick an extra point. They couldn't ever.
Because their starting kicker, they didn't want to use their best kicker on the extra point because his arm was hurt.
That's weird.
They used him on kickoff.
Can't wind up.
They got the best running back punter in the state. The guy was still let that guy kick field goals.
The guy was still drop kicks.
Drop kick. Whatever.
Yeah.
Let him get it in.
Well, they still were using their kicker for kickoffs, and he was still kicking out the back of the end zone, but he was also kicking and just jetting over the sidelines.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes
sense.
sense.
They just didn't want him to take any chances with that arm. Which
I did see a thing on the Northwest running back. That dude's pretty solid.
Ballin'.
Dude, his last name is Fast.
Oh,
no
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Augie Fast.
Oh,
I need to reach out to
yeah.
them and try and get him on because he's balling.
Yeah.
He had 5 touchdowns this last weekend.
Just
wow.
Unbelievable weekend for high school sports. And then we're obviously a few weeks away from basketball starting up. I did finally get a response from Derby last night, and we're going to work on getting a couple players. One of my friends who has a son that plays on the Derby squad, he just had major mouth surgery, so he's like clamped up.
Oh,
and he was one that I was trying to get to talk to, but
not anymore.
our
not
guest
right now.
for Thursday, I won't name names. You can do your homework, but he scored his first collegiate touchdown this last weekend.
What?
Yeah. So
Wow.
Thursday's guest, we'll have some fun things to talk about
fun.
with him.
That's
so
cool.
that should be pretty cool.
That
so
is awesome.
I got another one that I'm excited to get on. It'll probably be closer to Thanksgiving until he's in town. He wants to come in and actually be in the office just because I haven't seen him in a while. But so he'll be a fun one to have that week too. But yeah, working on getting some people in and having some fun people on and going through everything. I'm excited to talk to Miles too. He's been around all of us for a while and been around the city and very close with his family. So I'm excited about that. So you guys want me to go ahead and text him?
Oh
hop
yeah,
on?
bring him
let's
in.
get it
Bring
going.
him in.
I was just gonna say the Wichita State Shockers are 2-0 to start the year.
Oh,
Basketball.
they hit triple digits this weekend.
Yeah, they blew out Prairie View A&M.
Yeah.
Basketball?
Yeah.
I saw I saw a picture that said 100 plus. 100 plus.
102?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have TJ Williams on that team, who's from Heights.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
he redshirted last year and he didn't transfer, so that's cool.
I ran into Ryan.
He's doing
He's
pretty
like
good.
their, I don't know what his
Hilliard?
title. Yeah, Hilliard. Yeah. And I was talking to him. He's like, man, we don't know. You know, every year's a new year because they get 9, 10 new guys.
No, I mean, I think the only one who came back was Tangval, who's another Wichita kid, and I think he might be a walk-on. And
they still have that guy from Andover.
I don't know.
They had a kid from Andover.
Sidebar.
But
We
TJ,
talked
like that TJ Williams guy,
That's not him. It was a different.
he's a Heights kid though.
Sidebar. We talked about Dylan Edwards last week.
Yeah.
And
Heard
he is moving on. Yeah, he's going to be moving
injury.
on and doing all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
How's
Miles
it going,
Hartman.
fellas?
joining
What up,
us.
Miles?
How are you, man?
Good. How are you guys? How you doing?
Great.
What's up,
Good.
big guy? How you feeling?
Not a whole lot. We just had weights this morning, so got me a little breakfast, a little shower, and are doing the podcast.
Man,
so,
I'm shocked that you got your own apartment. Like you moved
What?
out. Like what?
You took a
Yeah,
shower?
Yeah, growing up in the world a little bit.
Oh, shoot.
That's why dude's trying to match my mustache. Like
I
he's
see.
working
And
over there.
Looking a little small, brother, man. Looking a little small.
Hey man,
Hey, easy on me. Take it easy.
he's like a Swiss Army knife. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Nice, light, and
absolutely.
quick.
Absolutely.
moving around.
Jack of all trades over here.
There you go. How was weights, man? How'd it feel this morning? How you guys grinding in the fall?
It was good, man. Yeah. I mean, we've been working out. We work out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Getting after it. We had a great strength coach. So he really pushes us and energy's high in there usually. And yeah, I mean, it's been great getting after it. We're in max week. So it's our last week of the fall.
Okay. What'd you hit today? Let's hear it.
We did max bench, and then we also did max out single leg squat, split squat.
What'd you get, 185 on bench?
195 actually.
Damn! This man's almost got 200. Let's go.
Gotta raise the
road.
Raise
Oh,
the
man.
Was
road.
that 2 times your body weight?
Yeah, around there.
He's
Yeah.
getting there.
He's
Look at him. He's working.
I retract my statement.
No, that's fine.
Who brings more of the energy, you or Naj?
I would say it's me this year. He's kind of like on his way out, so he's he's passing the reins down a little bit. to me,
He's
so,
considered an old head now, huh?
yeah, he's our grandpa around there. So
Dang.
I could see that. I could see that.
They don't let you play the music in the weight room, do they?
well, like so Skip, he gets his days, and then we get our days, and it's every other day we're in the weight room. So
What
If
kind of
it's our day-
Canadian music is he playing?
dude, it's like rock, like real heavy metal rock music. It's like
Okay.
Like
getting out.
like
Yeah.
streamy.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
like I really get behind it, but I can't really say too much.
Hey, every once in a while, you just got to mix it in.
You gotta rage
what I
every
mean?
now
Yeah,
and
you gotta,
then.
You got to mix it in a little bit.
We know
You
the rage in the weight
It's better
room.
than only like soft country. That was like my one
Right.
thing when we're lifting as a group. I don't want to listen to soft country when I'm around 15 other like dudes trying to move weight. Like at least pick it up a little bit for me.
Yeah, no, he'll tell me our music sucks, and I'll tell him his sucks. So it's a little give and take.
Well, okay, so what's your number one song on your playlist then? Like when it's your turn to run it, what's your number one song you play?
Well, we don't even have our own playlist. We listen to the basketball dudes playlist, which they got a bunch of rap in there. So it's a mixture of everything. But I would say probably something by T Grizzly. I don't know. He gets the blood flowing a little bit. So
goodness,
I have no idea who that is.
You don't want to. You don't want to know.
Yeah.
It is not going to fit the Christian. It ain't going to fit the Christian playlist.
No, it's not.
Good.
Moneybag, yeah. I know Sheldon likes Moneybag. So.
Yeah. I like lifting to that for sure.
I'll get behind that too for
there
sure.
You go. Well, nice, man. Well, thanks for hopping on with us, and we're going to ask you some questions. Want to learn a little bit about you. I know you probably obviously reach out, seeing us doing this, and so just kind of to lay the premise behind. What do we do the pod for? Why do we do it? And really our goal with everything is just to highlight local athletes, talk about local initiatives, local things, and really kind of bring more eyeballs to the things and the people that are around our local community here that are doing good things and doing things that I think people should be paying attention to, but we kind of get sucked into that black hole of just being Wichita, Kansas in the middle of nowhere in most people's eyes. And for us, like we got a lot of talented players here across all the different sports, and people come here and we have a lot of good things that are happening. So that's kind of our goal with everything. But to start out, I want you to just kind of tell somebody who doesn't know you, right? Introduce yourself a little bit. Where'd you grow up? Where did you play? Kind of walk us through your story, and we'll ask some questions along the way.
Right on. Yeah. So I'm from Wichita, Kansas. I went all 4 years at Mace High School. Got coached by the great Rocky Helm. Learned a lot of things in that program and just learning how to really respect the game there. So couldn't have been coached better growing up, especially in that high school in those young, vulnerable ages. Just trying to work for a spot, trying to be in the varsity, be that guy. So learned a lot from him. Went all 4 years of Mays. Then I ended up signing to Pratt Community College for 2 years. Played 2 years there, loved it. Had a great time. Learned a lot of good things. Met a lot of great people there. And after Pratt Community College, I didn't have too many options. I had a really good scout day at the All-Star Showcase they do at Wichita State for the All-Stars or whatever, sophomores, I guess you're sophomore, All-Star, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. So I had a really good day there. Got a couple D2s in Texas that hit me up and ended up choosing Lubbock Christian. So went out there, had a great time, had a great fall. Some things happened.
Life.
Just something. Yeah, life happened. Kind of got homesick too. Really missed the family. And then Coach Adam, he hit me up in that spring when I was coming back. He just asked me about eligibility and stuff. And then had a tour here at Friends University. Really loved it. I've known Nijay for a couple years, just knowing him around Wichita and being around here. So talked to him a little bit about that. He said nothing but great things. And then, I've been here this will be my second year at Friends University, and I've loved it. So it's been great.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, no, you have a cool journey. We'll tap into it as well and talk about it some, but and just a little bit more background from our side. Obviously, all of us here in the office are familiar with you, and we've had your brother on the podcast. Like I know your family really well. I've grown up with you guys, and so watching you, when I look at you, I see 12-year-old Miles that wanted to be a rapper, and so I see this kid that is just a hothead, never shut his mouth, but he was always hanging around us, and then slowly but surely growing up and maturing and finding your way, your own way, right? And I think there's a lot to be learned there because you've had to mature a lot, right? You've dealt with some adversity, and I think that there's a lot of athletes out there that they get to these crossroads in their careers and they don't really know what to do. And if people don't talk about these things, or people aren't, shedding light on these different things, or they don't have people in their corners,
Yeah.
you run into a lot of, tough decisions, right? So,
Right.
let's backtrack that a little bit, right? Let's talk about high school going to college, right? So, obviously, you were a good high school player, raw, talented player, right? I taught you a lot in high school, and basically how to field a ground ball. You were afraid of the ball for a while. It was okay. We worked through
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but no, raw talent, man. Like, and honestly, middle infield guy, super quick hands. But you lacked in arm strength, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, right? You had some issues with that a little bit, which obviously is a little bit of a knock on the recruiting. So, you were kind of looking at, how do I get to college? How do I get people to take a chance on me, right? Like, how do I do that, right? I remember these combos, and so walk through, what was going through your head at that point in time. What were the things that you kind of started to focus on, and that ultimately led you into getting an opportunity with Pratt?
Yeah, so in high school, I mean, coming after my brother Mason, the state championship and stuff like that, that really was a motivation for me. Just really wanting to, you set the bar higher. And, even though we didn't, it happens. But I think the thing I learned the most was learning how to deal with failure. And I think a lot of kids these days shy away from that. Failure is a great opportunity to learn. Everybody says that, but they don't really feel it. So being able to go through it made me a better man, made me a better player. Just learning, the ins and outs of the game, trying to be savvy, being really smart in certain situations, learning count awareness. Yeah, and like you said, my physical attributes, still, I'm not the biggest guy, not the strongest guy, not the fastest guy. So there's ways you just got to learn how to play with your game. If you're a smaller guy, I learned how to bunt ever since I was young. That's a piece of the game that's I feel like is going away these days. A
Mhm.
lot of guys are, they don't want to bunt or they're too cool to bunt or, too cool to sacrifice, your at bat for the betterment of the team. And I feel like those things go a long way, especially when you're talking to coaches. So just being able to be confident within yourself, you know, learning, just learning small things every day, trying to pick your coach's brain, pick at other dudes who are succeeding, asking them what they're doing, what they're talking themselves through and at bat, what it feels like to field a ground ball and throw it across the field with confidence. And those are just things you learn along the way. But really, just trying to be yourself, learn your identity within the game, and just and play your hardest, man. Like this game is only here for most of us for 4 or 5 years after high school or whatever. So if you get that opportunity to go out there and play the game, even if it's fall ball, like we have freshmen right now that are getting opportunities because guys, grades are down or whatever it might be eligibility wise. So them hopping in the lineup and playing with us, it's like, dude, take advantage of it and don't take it for granted. Even though it's fall ball, you know, it's an opportunity to grow and make an impact on the coach, especially because he's the one that writes the lineup, at the end of the day. So, and
Sure.
just bringing energy, love for the game, man. Like, I feel like a lot of dudes take this opportunity for granted, and then it's gone, and they're like, dang, left with a bunch of regret. So playing with that, that chip on your shoulder, whatever it might be, if you're a bigger guy, trying to prove these people wrong, prove yourself right. I love that saying, prove yourself right, not other people wrong. So
There you
Who
go.
who is this guy?
Hey, man, he's
Wow, he's
growing
growing.
up,
Holy
man.
moly, been around for a little while and bro, I'm happy to hear that from you. That's some big stuff.
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
100%.
we ain't shying away. Miles has a mouth, and
Yeah.
the reality of it is in high school, going into college, this dude wouldn't shut his mouth, and so like working with us, working with me, everybody, like it's like Miles, like dude, let your game talk. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you're a scrappy ass player, like, and that's the reality of it. Let your game do the talking, and
Yeah,
it's so easy to say, but the reality of it is baseball is an emotional sport, right?
yeah,
And you're part of your energy that you're bringing, you
yeah,
know, it sometimes it boils over, sometimes it doesn't, right? Like, so there you found, or at least what I have noticed over the last couple of years watching you play, is you found a much better balance, right? You
yeah,
found a balance between those things, and that's part of maturity, right? It's part of growing up.
Yeah.
because for a while there, I wouldn't call it a bad reputation, but you definitely had a reputation. And, it was something where if people are looking into you, it's which way are we going to get this guy, right? Is this going to be
Yes.
the team guy, or is this going to be the guy that's trying to do something with the other team, right? And
Right.
that, there's a lot of growth that's happened there. So, we appreciate that. It's awesome to see you talk the way that you're talking, because, dude, ultimately at the end of the day, it all boils down to a choice, right? Everybody gets a chance and a choice, and you took your chance and made the right choice. And, so it's fun to see that development and see those things happening. But tell us a little bit about JUCO ball, right? So maybe a player out there looking into JUCO ball, right? I know the grind. I know what it's about. Like JUCO ball it's a different world in comparison. And, so like talk about your experience at Pratt. How was it? What was different about, that kind of level of baseball in comparison to your high school days?
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, the grind of it, that's the big picture. It's just that it's one big grind. But you learn a lot of things, you learn the speed of the game, you learn the pace of practice, a lot of things that, you just didn't really feel like, or you didn't feel those things in high school. You didn't feel that pressure to compete. You kind of had a spot in high school, and right as you get to JUCO, it's a big eye opener. You're like, wow, there's these big, tall dudes, transferring in for whatever reasons, and you're like, man, like he's way bigger than me, he's way stronger than me. You got to find ways to grind out, and that's just what it is, man. And it's a brotherhood too. Like, there's a lot of kids out here who want to go D1, right out of high school, and I get that, like that'd be a great opportunity, but like I've seen on your guys' podcast before, and I've talked to you guys about, like, you can't get better at baseball without playing baseball. So, those are things that I learned along the way. Like we had that conversation with me last summer of, you know, playing summer ball or not playing summer ball. And it's like, you do got to play baseball to get better at baseball. You can train all you want, you can be in the cages all you want, but actually playing baseball, and that's what JUCO is, man. You're playing a lot of baseball. You're a lot of scrimmages, a lot of just what inter squads, whatever it might be. You're traveling, just a lot of things you don't feel in high school. So JUCO is a great time to learn who you are as a person, learn who you are as a player. You find out things that you didn't even know about yourself. You find out things in your game that you didn't know you were capable of doing, and then yeah, you just run with those things, man. Like the relationships that you make there are forever. And I could name 10 guys off my head. I hope I'm in their wedding one day or
Yep.
whatever it might be. Like these dudes are, you're going through it with them, early morning lifts, early morning runs. You're staying after practice to get more ground balls, get more fly balls, more swings. And yeah, like just the one word I got is a grind. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. You're working your tail off to try to compete, try to be a better player every day, and ultimately get yourself in that lineup. And then once you're in there, man, it's just don't look back. Learn how to deal with failure because it's gonna happen. You can't run away from it. So you got
Yeah.
to learn
The
to
going
accept.
the going through it is the part that, you're going to find out real quick whether or not baseball, or really probably any sport, is your sport at the collegiate level as soon as you show up, right? Like you're going to
Yep.
find out really, really quick, especially at JUCO. But, like it is that jump in the pace of the game is just, you can't describe it until you're in the mix of it. You
Right.
know, you add
Yeah.
in the weight of the mental fatigue that goes into it as well too, on top of the hopes and dreams, and it's this big perfect storm of things that you got to elevate yourself or you're not going to have a chance. And it really starts to shed light on who's there for the right reasons and who's willing to do it.
Yeah.
And like it's an absolute grind. That's the easy way of saying it. But like you said, you're going through it with those boys, and those relationships are amazing because those are the relationships that you'll remember. I think all of us sitting right here have 5-10 guys that we played ball with, that we came up with, that are good buddies of ours still to this day, 10-15 years removed of playing. Well, me, maybe not
Exactly.
Sean, but Sean's 5
I'm glad
years
you didn't say
removed.
20 because
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
the old man status, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
man, I mean, that grind is something that, hopefully players really understand the differences there. But And I've worked with you a lot in the off seasons, and we've done different things, and you've been relatively consistent doing your own thing. Tap into that a little bit. Talk about some of those players that are there. Right, obviously, you guys are going through fall stuff right now. What have you done? Because people can't really see you on this, but we'll just paint the picture. This dude's 145 pounds.
Oh,
He's lengthy, right? But what are the things that really are you're doing outside of, just baseball practice, right? Like, what are the things that you're focusing on? Because, like you said, and we've said on this podcast, right? Like playing is probably the number one thing, right? Because when I watch you play, okay, I can tell that you play a lot because your edge on the field comes from your experience. Your edge on the field, you're getting to balls that the common player doesn't get to, right? Like
yeah,
you're taking advantage of situations that the common player doesn't take advantage of, right? You
yeah,
don't you don't get that just because, right? There's a process that goes in behind all of that, right? But that's what really
yeah.
sets you apart. Somebody like me who watches baseball players damn near every day, right? Like I see those differences, right? So kind of share with people, kind of that process for you.
Yeah, I mean, I would say outside of baseball, it's still baseball, you know? Definitely a big social media guy. I like learning new things every day. Just picking people's brains apart, asking all the questions that you need to ask, why is this happening? What's going on here? Why am I not succeeding in this? Whatever it might be. So, learning about the game and actually watching baseball too. I love when the World Series comes around because that's when everyone wants to watch baseball, and that's when the baseball's at its peak. And you can see guys really tap into, what works for them. And then you see guys fail too. And then you can see how they can deal with that stuff. And if they're dealing with that stuff on that level, it just gives you more motivation to be like, hey, there's dudes out there who are in way bigger situations, and it humbles you at some points in time. So, I mean, just learning about the game for me, watching videos and watching podcasts. I know I watch a lot of Francisco Lindor's podcast, and I think he was on with Mookie Betts too. Just the big thing for me, like you said, I'm a big defensive guy. I take a lot of pride in that. So learning, whatever it might be, situations, running through these things in your head, just while you're laying down, man. Like if you have a game the next day, you got to ask yourself, there's big questions you got to ask yourself, and it's a lot of things come down to that preparation, and being prepared for it. Because if you're not, it's going to take advantage of you, and it's going to show on the field. Like our big thing here at Friends right now is if you don't use practice, the game is going to use you, and you're going to it's going to take advantage of you, and you're going to look bad. And so those are just things you don't want to have happen. So really just learning the game, man. I mean, being able to understand the smalls, the bigs, the ins and the outs. Those are things you can really take advantage of, and you know, just being that savvy baseball player. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely those are some things that um I feel like go a long way for me and have really helped me grow and mature in the game.
For sure, man. Well, it's fun to watch. I can tell you that for sure. In seeing your development happen, right in front of our eyes, right?
Yeah.
It's cool to
Yeah.
see that because you come a long way, and you've been around our, like our umbrella of things for a while, right? Like you've played with the Mud
Yeah.
Daubers. That was kind of your first, kind of start, and then obviously, you go off to Texas for a little bit, come back, right? So dealing, that adversity and doing that, you play with the Heat this last summer, win a national championship with the Heat this last summer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll have some questions on that too. Sean's shaking his head, doesn't want to talk about it, but like it, that side of it, dealing with that adversity, right? Like dealing with the different things that life is throwing at you, but really focusing on you, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the key piece of that I take from your story is, yeah, you could blame everybody, like you could whine and cry, like all of that stuff, but ultimately when the brass shows up, like you just put your head down and you get back to work, right? Like and you
Yeah.
take an opportunity that's given to you, you start to grind it out, right? And then I
Yeah.
call you this summer and I'm like, "Listen, like what the hell are you doing? Like
Yeah.
get with it." You know what I mean? Like why
Yeah.
why are we sitting on our ass? Like we need to be playing, right? Because you aren't the type of player that doesn't need to be on the field. You need to be on the field, right? That's how you develop. That's how you keep going. So, we get you back in the fold, and then good things happen, right? And then that leads you into the fall, which is what's leading us to now. But, so I hard work. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate that. And obviously the job's not done yet. We're going to keep working. But questions, guys? You guys?
Man, I shake my head because I know I reached out to him in the beginning of the summer, and I'm working out.
Well, sometimes he has this little chip on his shoulder where he thinks he's too cool for everybody.
And then I had to
be reminded.
Then I had to ask him if he was working on his golf swing or playing baseball, and
There's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Is it better? Is your golf swing better?
I've came a long way in the golf world for sure. Because I play
many nights
golf
on the
righty,
simulator.
so I'm a golf. I golf right-handed and play baseball left-handed. So it was definitely a chance to learn, the whole swing and stuff. But I think I got it down now.
So my other question for you is going to be SummerBall Showdown based, because you showed out as for the entire tournament. You sent me a text message that said, "Is there going to be an all tournament team?" And why the MVP was chosen. So what was your mindset on that? Because I obviously you cared enough to shoot me a message, but you showed out, and I made sure you knew that. But what was your mindset on that? Because I'm just curious, that raw in the moment text message that you sent me.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like Austin, we all played great, man. Like we all had, a great whole tournament combined, and that's why we won it. Really, is we came together as a team. Most and foremost, we had some guys, brand new people, just dudes new to that team at that tournament. So, and we really just, had a bunch of grinders out there. But I would say I asked you that just because, I care about the game. I care about people getting that recognition that they deserve. A lot of people did great things in that tournament. And so I was just curious as to why there wasn't an all tournament team, or if that was, something you guys were going to look into doing next year or whatever, just to, really highlight some guys' good tournament. And that's a good tournament, man. Like there's a lot of people that come in from out of town who want to win that thing, and it means a lot to them too. So being able to keep it in Wichita or in Wellington, that really meant a lot to me personally, because my family's from Wellington, so to be able to put that jersey on and step out there for them really meant a lot to me. So
nice. Yeah, I think that is something we're going to look into, based on how we can make it all happen. But like I said, you showed out. The coaches told me you showed out. What I saw on paper showed out, and all of that good stuff. So as we grow, we want to make sure we listen and move in the right direction to give the players that recognition. So I just want to say thank you, and also congratulations on winning that natty. The picture of you sitting on the mound says it all.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you guys, getting me back in the game, man. I can that motivation really pushed me, and Sheldon getting on my butt every day, I kind of wanted to shut him up a little bit about that.
That's all right. That don't bother me none. I'm cool with that. So talk to us about Friends, right? How you guys looking for, springtime? Like tell us, as you're developing and kind of looking into it, how's that team shaping up? Because I know you guys got some old heads on the team, but you're going to have some younger guys too. And I also think that, for me, college baseball is probably more competitive now than it's ever been, right? And everybody wants to only pay attention to one level of it, but I don't. I think that they'd be shocked if they understood how good some of these NAIA teams were, how good these Division II teams were. Like there is a plethora of stout baseball teams across the country, and when you look at the conferences that you guys play in and where these players are coming from, right, from a national and international level, like we got guys coming from all over the place. And I mean, last spring, like I saw some of your guys' scores and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Right. And then you'd see some other games where it was like, like normal baseball stuff. But I'm pretty sure I saw a score last spring that was like 30 something to 20 something. And I was just like, what is happening? You know what I mean? Like it's, so walk me through kind of how that's all shaping up, how that's looking.
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, we got a lot of young guys, this year that have really stepped up and really, shown themselves and shown what they're capable of doing. But like you said, also, we got the old heads on the team that, really shape of what we got going on and really care about our mission and our goals this year. So, um, yeah, we're looking good, man. We got a really good bullpen. We got a really deep staff this year, which is, you can't go anywhere in baseball without a deep staff or a deep bullpen. So, and our starters, we got a bunch of lefty pitchers this year, which is a bit different. It's challenging me personally too at the plate. I'm not the best left-handed hitter or left-handed pitcher, lefty-lefty matchup. So it's teaching me a lot too, which is good. Just giving me that edge and being able to be comfortable in the box. But yeah, we're looking good, man. Really young team overall. We got some sophomore transfers that came in who are really doing their part and, really bringing the energy. And that's the big thing around here. We're Friends University. We got a great football team. We got a great wrestling team. And, everyone is just looking at our baseball team like, when is it going to happen? When is everything going to click? So, I think this year we got a real chance. We got leaders in the clubhouse with Naj and me and some other guys too who really care and want to push guys to their max potential. And that's what it comes down to, man. Like you can't walk in here and, just be like, oh, it's another day of baseball. You got to be thankful for it and you got to come out to practice every single day and give it your all. You can't practice lesser and then expect to play at a higher level. It's just not how it's going to work. You got to practice at that high level. So when the game comes, it's all slowed down and everything is, it seems like the game's going by slow. So, and those are things you can really take advantage of doing by just practicing hard, man. So yeah, we're looking good. We've had a couple guys with eligibility and grades going on, so we haven't seen the full picture against outside competition, but in the inner squads, man, we're banging the ball around. Our pitchers are executing good pitches. We're putting good swings on balls, and we're making some really good plays. We got a lot of fast outfielders with good arms. We're looking pretty sharp. So hopefully everything can, click once we get into springtime and that cold January weather. But
Yeah, it's the
and-
word.
yeah, you gotta
That's the
love
one
it.
thing about playing. No, I do not love it. I didn't love it then, and I don't love it now. Like I remember having conversations with my coaches all the time. Like, listen, dude, I'd like, dude, like I mean, there's snow out here. Like, what are we
Yeah,
doing on the baseball field? I love playing. Like, I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is not meant to be done that way. Like, it's just not. And don't get me wrong, I nutted up and got it done, but
yeah,
I hated every freaking second of that. Like, you're
yep,
out there, you can't feel your fingers. You go to swing the bat, you can't feel your hands. Like, it's
yep,
just, I don't know. Like that weather, playing baseball in that weather, it just, to me, it gives an edge to the worst team. Like it gives an edge to the team that's not as good, which I always thought every team we played wasn't as good as us. So I was just like, dude, like why am I trying to help them out? Like
yeah,
I don't understand why we're doing this. Like let's play this game when we can all feel our limbs on our body and let's see what happens. Like we'll show up and just pound you, like that shit pisses me off. Like it still
I also
pisses me off to this day.
I think a part of it, like you said, it evens out the playing field too.
Yeah.
And there's games in the early spring that you're playing teams outside of your conference, and they're national ranked or whatever it might be. So being able to just, being like, oh, like they're cold too, so let's see who's tougher. And that's
Yep.
kind of what I like about it. But I definitely don't enjoy, my hands being freezing and I'm trying to throw a ball, 120 feet across the diamond. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's its ups and there's definitely its downs as well.
Can't stand playing in the cold. Sean, any questions over there?
Oh, okay. Now we're kicking.
Yeah, come
Hey,
on.
Well, Sean doesn't like to interject, so we have to pause and ask him, and then
we have to
like,
get him involved.
Yeah.
Got to.
Oh, getting to coach you for that summer, you kind of, and then of course coaching against you this past summer. Obviously, you're a guy who you love to have on your side, and you hate to play against.
Right.
And I think a lot of people can kind of embody that. How important is it for you to find your identity in the game of baseball, and just speak on that a little bit, just so like, I mean, there's obviously a lot of kids who maybe love the game who have a lot of shortcomings. How important is it to kind of find your strengths and really roll with it?
Yeah. Super important, man. You got to take pride in what you got and, you got to roll with it. Like you just said. me being a smaller guy, I like that, when people, look at you and you're like, "Oh, you're a smaller guy, I'm gonna blow this fastball right by you," and you stick it up the middle and you get on first base and you steal second and you're flying around the yard, man, so and it's fun, just like you said, you gotta
Doing all
prove
that
yourself
shit.
right. You gotta prove yourself right, instead of trying to prove people wrong. I feel like a lot of kids, "Oh, I wanna prove you wrong because you were talking crap or whatever." No, I'm gonna prove myself right, and you're gonna see that, and it's gonna suck, so and that's what brings me joy, just being able to show those people that, hey, even though I am that smaller guy, or I'm going to make that crazy play and throw your ass out at first base, and that you're just going to have to deal with it. And those are the things that, you gotta embody those and you gotta love it. So, and it's
That's a
fun to see the other team, look at you and appreciate what you're doing too. And at the same time, trying to compete against you as well.
that's definitely a different mindset than we've seen for you. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Prove
Yeah.
yourself right. Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I was when I was coaching you, I kind of saw you as
I'm gonna prove you wrong kind of guy.
no, no, that's not what I was going to say at all. I was actually going to say a white Ichiro. Man, I just remember watching
Go.
Ichiro growing up, and
That is a compliment.
That is a
that
big
Right.
A
compliment.
white
I, look,
Ichiro.
man, I mean, like
Like it.
that's a guy who was smaller. I mean, super gifted. Obviously, guy had a cannon of an arm and could
Yeah.
freaking run. But like
Yeah.
he came to the big leagues and he absolutely still played to his style and had an amazing career. So I think
Absolutely.
it's so important for players to see you and kind of lead by or go by your example that you've led on and what you're speaking on right now. And like, okay, I'm not going to try and go with the flow of what baseball's trying to trend towards and has been trending towards the last 10 or so years.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you look in the World Series, man, and these teams are when it comes down to it, it's and I think we might have talked about this in the Wellington podcast with like Naj and stuff is like, get them on, move them over, get them in, right? And
Yeah.
that's I mean that's how the Blue Jays got there, and obviously the Dodgers have a super talented team and pitch really well, but when times matters, that's which teams win the game, and I think you're a really good example of that, man. It's like, okay, I'm not going to try to be anything I'm not. I'm gonna be the best fielder I can be. I'm gonna be the best base runner I can be, and I'm gonna be an absolute dog at the plate where they're gonna have to work their hardest to get me out.
Yeah.
And I mean, then I was coaching against you, and I know one of our guys, we couldn't buy a hit in that game, and they floated one kind of back over shortstop, and you started going after him like, yeah, he's going to catch it because I, sure enough, man, and I've seen it, I saw it plenty of times when I was coaching you, man. So I just props to you, dude, and as you move along, man, just keep grinding. Is there any highlights personally or with the team from this fall you've had so far?
Um, I like to shout out those young guys, man, that are really, stepping up and playing their role, dude. There's some kids last year who were on our developmental squad who have been getting chances this fall, and they're really taking advantage of it. So, giving those dudes props, man. They're young, they're hungry, and I can really see it. So, definitely highlighting those dudes and the dudes that are filling spots when guys can't be there with us. So,
Yeah.
100%.
Nice. And then looking ahead to the spring, and everybody, obviously, you know what you want to do as a team, right? You want to go win conference, you want to go win the conference tournament, you want to go and play in the World Series. What are some personal goals for you? I mean, everybody has them. Hey, if you don't
Yeah.
want to get too deep into those, that's not a big deal. But what are some personal goals for you?
Yeah, for me, man, I fell short of the National Gold Glove last year by I think an error or two, maybe. And that dude that won it, then they went 59-0, and props to those guys for really putting NAIA baseball on the map
Yeah,
too. That was pretty cool to see that. So, for me, getting that National Gold Glove, bringing home some hardware, and then again, yeah, like winning that KCAC tournament, whether it's the tournament or we just win it outright. So. Definitely want to accomplish some of those goals, and hopefully those things lead us to where we want to go.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got defensively is obviously your strong suit. And, I mean, not that offense is a bad suit for you. You just have
Yeah.
your own, you got your own strategy there and your own piece of the game in that. And I think that that's a strong suit too.
Yeah.
Somebody who puts the ball in play and gets on base and moves around, like, and takes advantages of situations. Like, that's baseball, bro. Like, that's what in my brain, that's a baseball player, right? Like, and I, essentially had the same mindset while I was playing. Like dude, I wanted to do whatever I could do to help the team. Get on base, get over, move around, like put pressure on guys, like just do what I can do to make somebody else uneasy so that way my team could win. Like, and that's the grind. But I want you to tell us a little bit because you played with two teams in the KCLB. So I want to talk about that experience just a little bit because obviously we want to highlight, you know, summer ball is very important to us. And I think you hit on it a little bit talking about some summer ball and playing, right? Because so many kids in this day and age, right? They think that they can just sit around and not do as much, and they get all tied up into this, philosophy behind taking care of their bodies, which they have no knowledge base of understanding at all, number one. Number two, it's kind of this, epidemic that we see across the collegiate summer space anyway, where these players think they play too much, right? Like they literally in the springtime, their brains, somebody has brainwashed them into believing that they have too many innings on their bodies, which I, for the life of me, cannot figure out how they could look at professional baseball players and then look at themselves and say, well, I'm as good as him, but then can't play a third of the innings that they play. Like, it just, the
Yeah.
realities of the math just ain't mathin' for me. So walk us through a little bit of your, collegiate summer experience. Obviously playing with the Valley Center Mud Daubers, dealing with some adversity stuff there, doing some different things, obviously going to the heat, and walk us through your experience, in both of those spots, but then touch on a little bit for SummerBall Showdown as well, too, because I know you've had a heartbreaker, at least one heartbreaker in SummerBall Showdown for sure.
Yeah.
And then obviously being able to accomplish, the ultimate goal in SummerBall Showdown last summer. Just walk us through, your experience and how, rewarding that's been for you through the summer times.
Yeah. So I had a great time on both teams. Loved everything I had to do with Valley Center. Loved everything that they gave me there. Just playing with those guys. A lot of those dudes taught me things that, again, just trying to pick people's brains, learn things and um, go along the way with it. But yeah, Valley Center had a great time. You know, some unfortunately some other things happened, led me to Wellington, but I'm thankful for both opportunities that I got. Wellington was another great place. It felt like home. Both teams really felt like home to me. So, and that's the big thing too, and those coaches, they always took a chance on me, and then I ended up showing them, hey, like I'm here to play for you, and we're gonna accomplish, we're gonna win some things too. So the KCLB was a great opportunity. So a lot of good baseball out there, a lot of good pitchers to face, a lot of good hitters, to roll to learn some things off of them too, and ask them questions. So, yeah, I mean, I had a great time at both places, but yeah, that case or that the tournament there in Goddard, I mean, it's always been great. It's always fun. You never have a bad time there. You're up there from sun up to sundown, or even sundown to 4 in the morning. So,
Yeah.
and it's great, man. You love that. I've always wanted to play games that I always grow up watching the NBC, and they did the round the clock thing too, and me just running around the park watching those dudes play the game at 2 in the morning or whatever it might have been, however late. It's cool to see that, and cool to see guys, um, get after it, whenever the door knocks on them. So yeah, like you said, we had a heartbreaker in Valley Center that one year. Still a little salty about that because it was against a team I didn't really like that much, but
Yeah.
those things happen. You learn from them. And then, like you said, we got the ultimate reward this past summer, and that
You
was really
did. I
fulfilling.
did.
Yeah, it was really fulfilling to, lift that trophy up and be with some guys that I know, and just dudes that I've already met, only known for 2 weeks too. So, and they were there all summer, and they didn't have the best team. And so to see them, get that chance of winning, brought a lot of joy to me as well. And the people that, came out to every game, on both teams, it was always good to see, those host families, those are great people, and you can't thank them enough for what they do because they let strangers into their homes. And yeah, I mean, those people, they love you like their own, and that's just the thing. So yeah, definitely one of the best experiences I've had, just involved in the game and outside of the game. So
Yeah, man. It's pretty cool to see it, Like obviously it's one of those quote unquote storybook type style of things for you, for Naj, some
yeah,
of the returners that, that had been inside of the Heat structure. Obviously this was your first time there, but
yeah,
the guys that came back after a just absolute heartbreaker for them the previous year, they come back to go after it. It was cool to watch all that happen, but I knew obviously with your history there and, the kind of a heartbreaking semifinal late night game loss, like where the
yeah,
energy was just absolutely insane. Like it was just, like that that's the baseball that I think is my opinion, right? Maybe other people don't think it, but like those those baseball situations, like those environment situations are the parts that I believe the players will never forget.
right,
Right? Like, they're gonna remember every second of every bit of those games because that energy that the ballpark has is just it's memorable. Like, it's just something that you latch on to as an athlete
yeah,
because that's what you strive for, right? Like you said, like when you're little, you're looking at those games and you see people out there doing stuff, like you see all that, but then it just kind of hits you. You know what I mean? Like you're standing in the field getting ready to start an inning and you're like, holy shit, like I remember this from over there and now I'm right
yeah,
here, and it's just like it happens, and it's just I don't know how else to explain that, but I remember my feelings when I had those things, and now I'm on the third side of that too, like, growing up watching it, being in it, and then now I'm on the backside of it trying to do it again and bring it back for people, like, I don't know,
yeah,
dude, it's super special, it's cool, like, it's fun to hear your side of it as well too because you're, getting to live that moment and be a
yeah,
part of it, which I think's awesome, and, it's just, it's it's a cool again how we started the pod, right? Like like this is about the stuff that we're trying to do right here. You know what I mean? Like right here
yeah,
in our backyard.
yep,
And there's still people that have no idea it even exists, right? That live
yeah,
here, that are around us. So it's really cool to hear that perspective from you because I think it's it's memorable and it's definitely something that I
100%,
think kids should hear and look into. But
yeah,
So so I have a question about one game this past year at the SummerBall Showdown. It was against Tessa's Army. After the game, Ryan came up to us and said that you noticed something, and then you shared that to create some, I don't know, chaos for Tessa's Army to score that winning run. Talk me through what you were seeing and how you went about that to your coach because that changed the tournament for you guys.
yeah, 100%, man. It all just started by, when I was on the bases and I got to third base. I don't know what inning. Early in the game, I was at third base. We weren't scoring a lot of runs or whatever. And I've always noticed, and I always was taught growing up, is if you're at third base, that catcher is just taking his sweet time, lobbing it back to the pitcher. Not checking you. And they had a good lead on us. I think it was 3-0 early. Pretty, we were down backs against the wall. So just trying to see things, and I finally saw it, and it really mattered in that moment when we needed that winning run. We were down to our last out, you know, and I told the kid at third, I was actually just right outside the dugout. I didn't even relay it to the coach. I told him, I said, "Hey, if he doesn't look at you at this next pitch," and it was I can't remember his name. He was that fast, speedy freshman that went to Allen. He transferred to Allen. I don't
Branham,
remember. What was his name?
Sky.
Sky Branham.
No, it was the other one, the little fast, twitchy pitcher kind of outfielder kid. Played second base. Gosh dang
Oh,
it.
he was a Valley Center kid.
Oh,
Yeah, Valley Center. Yeah,
What was
I
his
can't remember.
name? Why am I not remembering his name?
I
He
don't know
had a
now.
yeah,
Doc. Doc.
Doc, yeah.
yeah.
Doc. That dude's got
Needham.
freaking
Needham.
And
Doc
I
Needham.
knew he was a fast cat too. So
yeah.
I told him, hey, if he doesn't look you back right here, steal home, and you're gonna have it too, because this catcher's not looking at you. And I watched the whole AB with Austin up to bat. He never once checked him down, never once looked him back, and he's lobbing that ball back. I said, hey, if he does that again, go. And sure enough, he did. got that winning run in, and Austin ended up rolling over. So if we didn't have that and his speed on the base pass right there, we don't go win that ring. So
Did
like
you
I
watch
said,
that happen in slow motion?
Shit, I did.
I
We did.
I can picture it still right now, and just the electricity that brought us, that play brought us, and we went out there for the bottom half of that ninth inning, and we're like, it's over, man. You're not going to score another run on us, and we've done everything we can to get here, and
Yeah.
just those, like again, like I've been mentioning, those small things that baseball has to offer you, and you either pick them up or you don't, and those are the championship plays that you can pick up and really take advantage of, and it worked out for us,
Yeah.
thankfully.
I remember Naj walking up to me and going, "That was my championship."
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that held on
100%.
his shoulder for a year, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, and that speaks to, again, kind of the same point I just made, like, it's impactful for guys, but, Doc in that situation, like, just thinking through that game situation, like, I wasn't even playing, I was just watching, but I can remember this, like, like, this dude gets down 0-2, number
yeah,
1, Doc, and it hits a little dribbler up the middle, and so dude takes off, and he's busting ass to go to second base, right?
yeah,
Bust ass to go to second. And you're like, "What is this guy doing?" Because if he gets thrown out, like, not a good thing.
right.
Bust ass to second base, get to second base. And I think it was the first or second pitch, this dude just steals third base. And we got
Yeah,
2 outs. Like, there's 2
yeah,
outs. And it's like,
yeah,
dude, what the hell is this kid doing? And his mom was, like, not too far away from me. And, they're stressing out. I'm stressing out. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then a pitch later, 2 pitches later, he's stealing home. And I'm
yeah,
like, dude, we got 2 outs. Did somebody not know that we got 2 outs? Like, we're one
yeah,
base hit away, but that's the unconventional part of why it took them off guard. I mean, he literally
yeah,
took off on that first pitch to third, and I
yep.
remember the pitcher's face because the pitcher got the ball and, like, looked at him like, "What the hell is this kid doing?" Like,
Dude, that was one of the best, I think one of the most best, like, controlled base runners, but also just completely unhinged, man. Like,
dude,
he
freaking sporadic. Like, I remember
yeah,
walking to his mom after he stole home, and I was
yeah,
like, I don't know if he's stupid or just has balls the size of bowling balls. I don't know what it is, but the fact that that dude
yeah,
literally stole third with 2 outs on, like, I think it was the second pitch, but
yeah,
stole third and then turns around and straight up steals home to tie
yeah,
the ball game. Like,
yeah,
I'm
man.
like,
That was
"What
sick.
the is going on?" Like,
And
but
I knew we didn't
immediately
have it.
shifted, like, immediately. At that point in
Oh,
time, I was
yeah,
like, "Game's over." Like,
yeah,
I don't give a shit what happens. Like, dude, there ain't no way they're losing now. Like, because Tess is
no,
already, I swear to God, I looked at them, and dude, the pitcher and the catcher both, like, they were looking at each
and
other's souls, like,
yeah,
just happened, because they're older dudes. They play the game the right way, traditional baseball. They never thought this wiry little rat was gonna run second to home in 3 pitches. Like,
yeah,
it was
perfect way to
insane.
describe
Like,
him.
it absolutely was wild. So,
And
shout out
he
to
was
Doc. Saved the
he
season,
was
that's
like
for
the
damn sure.
he was like the only guy on our team I thought, had the chance at being able to do something like that too, like I've tried it and I've seen it, and I've failed at it myself growing up, and I'm just saying, hey man, like I know he runs a quick 90 or whatever. So
Well, I also think people, they respect you on the bases. That's the other part of it too, right?
right.
Like, you get on the bases, people are watching you a little bit closer because they know you have speed, right? You see
Yeah.
this little high school kid,
Yeah.
essentially he's a senior going into college. They're not paying as much attention to him. So it was like a perfect storm, like it truly was just a perfect fit because he's got good speed. I don't think he has the same speed that you have, but he's got good speed. Like, he's fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was just crazy.
It
Like, it
was
was wild.
it was a moment I don't think any of us will ever forget. Kind of like the
No.
back pick.
Yeah,
Right.
just
Yeah.
crazy. Crazy.
Unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I didn't think he heard me, so I was just like, dang it. And I saw him go, and I was like, he's got it, because I watched that catcher do that the whole game. He was never looking, never being that, taking that extra edge, to taking that extra time
Well, and
to.
that wasn't even close. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that play at home wasn't close. The end of the game
No,
play at home, a little bit
A little
closer.
bit closer.
yeah. Yeah.
Austin don't move quite as quick as he does, and he kinda slid into his face, and, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little bit closer there, but I think he was safe as well too. I mean, I think he got the call right. It was a little bit closer than the first one, but Yeah, we've had some memorable games at the SBS, that's for sure. Like, I mean, some high tension things, and that was as high as all of them. Like, that
Yeah.
one was Wellington in general just had that chip on their shoulder. Everybody in the stands, I mean, everybody was like all about it. They did not want Tessa's Army to win, and Tessa's Army
Yeah.
felt the same energy, I think, because
Yeah.
they were like, "No, we're gonna go get these guys again," just like last year. Like it was fun to watch, man. It made for
Yeah.
good, spectator baseball, which is, the goal.
Right. 100%. Yep.
I guess my final question, and we can make it quick. What went through your mind when you guys won the Natty?
You want me to be honest or
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
I mean, I want the truth. Like, be raw with us, man.
Yeah, it
Easy.
finally felt good to say, "That's for you, Randy. That's for sure."
Oh my!
I'm gonna have to edit that out, dude.
Yeah. Hey,
No,
but
that's gonna be the one clip posted
as
from here.
that's as raw as I can make it, man. I really enjoyed beating him in a moment that really mattered, and I know he wanted it just as bad because he's a competitor too, and I can see it in the way he coaches too. He's a savvy coach. He makes the right decisions, and he gets his guys going, and I love it. I love that competitive environment, and his team has always been just a little bit better than mine. So being able to beat his team by 3 runs, it really meant a lot, and definitely didn't take that for granted and soaked it as much as I could. That's for sure.
I don't.
Seems like a good place.
uh, I love it.
That's
No, I mean,
that's the
but
first big cuss word we've ever had
well,
on our
dude, like,
on our podcast.
you got to, and it plays to his story, right? You've been around the league, right?
Yeah.
Been in the league the same amount of time. Like, you guys have always competed against each other. You ain't ever been on his team, like, so it's just that rivalry, and don't get me wrong, like, I think that there's a much bigger respect factor between you guys now than it
100%.
was, the
Yeah.
first couple years where it was just kind of like the Wild West. But
Right. Yeah.
things got better, right? You grew up, he's grown up, everybody grows up, right? That's part of what we
Yeah.
do at KCLB is grow up with each other. But
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
like being able to see all of it kind of come to that whole thing because, he's fighting for the first one over there as well too, right? They have a big time family mentality, like with everything that they do, like, so on one hand, I'm over here getting to celebrate, and then on the other hand, I'm over here in heartbreak, right? And
Yeah.
like it's just
Yeah.
that experience for me is just, it's just wild, just a roller coaster of emotions to see it and watch you
Yeah.
guys get to do the things that you're doing. Like it's pretty cool. Like it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. Like it's a really, really, really special thing. And
Yeah.
so it's fun to see you doing it, man. Like we're rooting you on from behind the scenes, as you know. I'm proud of you for what you've grown up and what you've been able to do, and I hope that continues to happen. Because you've come a long way, and that's a
Yeah.
big thing. And so keep putting that front foot forward, right? One foot in front of the next. Like just keep
Yeah.
keep controlling those things that you can control, and good things continue to happen for you. But you guys got any other questions? Not too much? Okay, fair enough. I like it. Well, I always kind of like to ask, especially, because you're in the mix of it, and doing the things that you're doing right now, obviously kind of leading a collegiate team, really, at the end of the day. You're
Right.
somebody that guys are looking up to now, and, somebody who's producing, day in and day out, like truly leading by example.
Yeah.
And we've kind of learned your journey a little bit and kind of seen, what's happened. But if you're going to, leave, one piece of advice, right? Looking at your younger self, that kid that's getting ready to hopefully go to college, right? The guy that might be in college battling some of the same adversity that you battled. What's your advice that you want to, leave that next generation with? And, so that way they can kind of see from your breadcrumbs, what path they should follow.
Yeah. Ultimately, man, just believe in yourself. Trust your work, trust what you got going on. Never look back. Don't be afraid of failure and continue to work, man. This game is a game of failure. You're going to fail more times than not. You can't be afraid of it. So continue to push yourself. Keep working, play for the love of the game, not for, outside reasons or to look cool. If you love this game, play it with respect, play it with that passion, that heart, that grittiness that comes with it. And don't take it for granted, man. You can't. It's gonna be over in the blink of an eye. I can't believe I'm already in my last year of baseball. So time flies, and it's flying when you're having fun. And so this game's all about having fun. Continue to build those connections, man. Keep grinding, keep working at it. And it's going to be a lot better when you learn to have those things on your side.
Awesome, man. Well, you're gonna do great things. Obviously, as baseball is, it closes for everybody. It doesn't matter if you
Yeah,
get some opportunity after college, which you could. I mean, and those decisions are gonna be for you to make. But you're gonna do great things, man. You've grown up a lot. You got a lot of good things that are working around you, and like I said, it's fun to watch it happen, and always home here for you.
yes, sir.
So yeah, man, we appreciate it. We appreciate all the different things that you're involved with and the things that you're working on, because I think it's making the game better, and ultimately that's what it's all about. So,
Yes, sir.
all
Well,
right,
thank
I
you
don't
guys.
have anything else.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. It's been a good opportunity, and love you guys more than ever. So appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Have
You can
yourself,
hop off. So,
yeah, have yourself a day, man.
All right.
Enjoy this
Appreciate it, fellas.
frozenness.
hey, go Pack, go.
Yeah. Chill.
We'll see you later, man.
I see
Yeah.
Miles.
They're the Chiefs family over there, man. They're the diehard. His dad, diehard Chiefs fan. He's funny, good dude for sure. But hopefully we show up today. I love that kid,
Well-
man. He's a worker,
well,
worker.
Packers Nation over here, owner.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll see what version we get.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah. Well, Sean, you want to lead us in prayer today?
Yeesh.
I'm ready.
Lord, thank you for a new week, a new chance to make a difference in people's lives. As we try to do that each and every day with every athlete that comes through here, trying to make an impact in a positive way. And anybody we have on this podcast that hopefully we're impacting some young athletes right now, or some young men, young women who are looking for another role model, looking for something that they can latch on to, and some good advice. So I pray that as we keep having guests on here, and as we keep going through work in our daily lives, that we do it to honor and glorify you, and that we work for you and not just ourselves. I pray for Miles as he finishes off the fall strong and healthy, and pray for that team to go into this season healthy. I know we have a couple guys we know on that team, so just pray for a good season for him, a lot of camaraderie together, and pray for Miles to continue to lead as he's grown into such a good leader. And just thank you for blessing us to be in his life and see that journey he's been on. In your glorious name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. That's the end of episode 16, where we featured Miles Hartman with Friends University Baseball. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Malik Monday.